Hello, welcome to Satellite Showtime. I'm Pat Olson. It's been 2 weeks since the Space STTI 1985 Las Vegas show ended, but the memories of it are still alive. And when we come back, we still have to introduce you to some new people who participated in the show. We'll be right back.
Are you confused about satellite programming guides? Are you tired of monthly inaccurate guides that are big and bulky and about as much fun to use as a city phone book? How about tabloids with hard-to-read print, incomplete movie listings that are about as easy to use as a road map? Or newspaper guides with confusing grids that fall apart in your hands? There is an alternative. Onset, the easy-to-read, easy-to-use weekly programming guide with more movies and sports. Best of all, Onset is only $39. That's right, 52 issues for only $39. But don't take our word for it. We'll send you a free copy of Onset, and you can judge for yourself. And if you're a dealer, ask about our dealer program. Make your customers happy and make money. Call Onset now. Toll free 1-800-438-2020 or write Onset, Box 2347, Shelby, North Carolina, 28150. Onset, you've seen the rest, now try the best.
Welcome back. Only 2 weeks ago, this was the sight you could see outside the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas. 200 companies exhibiting their products. And inside, there were even more exhibitors, 700. It was the largest satellite industry show to date. And 14,000 visitors registered to see it, many of whom attended a rally to protest scrambling. On today's Satellite Showtime, we have a treat for you. You'll meet two manufacturers who were at the show, and they'll tell you about their newest products. You'll also meet a distributor who works with the manufacturer and dealer, and a dealer who will tell you why he likes being in the business. Plus, if you want to learn more about the industry, we'll tell you about a couple of groups you can join. Many dealers are working to get the equivalent of the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They're taking dealer certification classes to do this. At the Las Vegas show, Chuck Hewitt of Space talked with me about this.
Yes, we initiated a program to certify dealers in Nashville last year, and we have three of the education programs going on today, and there's been an overwhelming response for that. Basically, the program is set up with 5 required courses and 2 out of 5 additional courses, a total of 7 courses that have to be taken by a dealer to be certified. We certify basically that he's gone through the necessary coursework to be qualified as a dealer. The response to the program has been overwhelming. We've sold out all 3 of these classes early. We've had actually people very upset that they couldn't get into the program. So what we're going to start in late July, we're going to downlink the program, scrambled, to various sites in the United States, so we hopefully can affect thousands of dealers at a time. And we're going to have 4 times a year we'll downlink it, and with 3 courses at each downlinking. So we're quite excited about doing it. Why we're scrambling it is several reasons. That we're before Congress trying to say that we should have access to scrambled signals and it should be at a reasonable fee, and we're trying to demonstrate that we have knowledge and capability in understanding the scrambled signals. And it's also one of the few ways we can really control the program to ensure that dealers actually do go through the course. And again, that's what we certify to. We certify that the dealer is in the course itself. Well, there'll be, at each site, there'll be 2 decoders, one as a backup. And there have to be 25 dealers or more. And we're asking distributors, manufacturers, or any groups of dealers that want to get together and to pull it, have a downlink. We will provide the decoders. There are certain requirements to be met in terms of capability, and also they're not our decoders, they're on loan, so we have to have some deposit to the manufacturer to ensure that we don't break, lose, or whatever the decoder. But basically, we hope to be in 25 to 50 sites in the United States in late July.
If you want to become more involved in the satellite industry, there are ways to do it. At the Las Vegas show, I spoke with Robin Neithert, who is president of Women in Satellite Communications, and she says you don't even have to be a woman to join the group. It's a relatively new group, and Robin is a brand new president of it and also a member of the board of directors. Robin, could you describe what the Women in Satellite Communications group is?
I'd be delighted. As Pat said, it's a brand new group. It's composed of women who are active in this industry from every segment of the industry, the manufacturers, the distributors, the dealers, the media, other services. Women who felt like they needed an association through which they could participate to achieve certain goals for the industry. So we put it all together. We had a meeting out in Dallas last year and said, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. Now we have articles of incorporation, a board of directors, officers. Today we had a meeting. We had a very good turnout for the meeting, and we're going to identify 2 or 3 goals and accomplish them for the good of the industry and to help women be integrated more in the industry that they have their businesses in.
Do you know what those 2 or 3 goals are going to be?
Women are very interested in participating in consumer awareness programs. Tremendous problem out there with people having misperceptions about what satellite earth stations are, what kind of programming you get with them, the kinds of benefits that they provide. So consumer awareness, education. A group that can educate women about all facets of this industry. Someone who can come and talk to women, and you don't have to be a PhD in engineering to understand. Someone who can explain to them how the systems work. Someone who can help them go out and get financing when they sell systems. So educating within our own ranks. And political action. We want to support the national legislation, local legislation, address zoning problems, any kind of political problems that our industry faces.
Why a women's group? Why are women specifically getting together and doing this?
Well, women feel like they have a unique point of view, and I think that they do. And they want an association where they can express their particular point of view and respond to problems in a way that reflects their particular point of view. It doesn't exclude men. We are delighted to have men as members. We're delighted to have businesses as members. We're delighted to have anyone as members who wants to support the goals of the organization.
How does one apply to be a member?
Very easily. You can write to Women in Satellite Communications at Brown & Finn, which is at 1920 N Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. You can come to any of the shows. We have a booth now. Rick Schneringer at STTI has been extremely cooperative. We have literature available. If you write to me, I'll be glad to send it out. We have a membership secretary who takes care of everything.
Like to add anything to that, Robin?
Just that it is a new group that's forming, and with any new group, it's very difficult to get organized. We feel like we can give women an opportunity to participate. We think that they will enjoy this association, and we very strongly encourage every woman to come out and support it, to make her views known, and to do some work for the good of the entire industry.
Could it be a woman who is a consumer, a buyer of a satellite?
Absolutely, absolutely. This industry ranges from the manufacturers right straight down to the consumer who uses the unit. We are delighted to have everyone from every aspect come and participate so that we can know what the problems are, so that we can know what the concerns are. And you can't address problems and concerns until you know what they are. So we'd be delighted to have consumers as members.
There's another group that satellite system distributors can join. I spoke with 2 members of that group at the Las Vegas show.
I'm with Jim Parker and Sam Gasque, and they have a new Distributors Association. And first of all, could you tell me the name of the Distributors Association?
Well, that's one of the unique parts of it. It is not named yet. It is so new. We came up with this organization recently, and the last thing we want to do is come up with a name. We're after a format for the organization first.
Why the need for a Distributors Association?
We're into a situation to where we want to make a particular amount of profit on items we sell. It's got to be a point without regionalization that we're not able to do that.
Let me get into this a little bit. What we're trying to do is get, for the first time, the satellite industry to act as an electronic industry should. We want to take it out of the hobbyist atmosphere into a professional business.
How did you form this organization?
Me and Sam both are distributors for Amplica. And Amplica went regional. They're saying they'll protect our territories. They won't let anyone sell into that area. And so what we did is, with a group of Amplica distributors, we formed an organization to follow that further. We want the other manufacturers to follow suit. We want them to go regional. We want to be able to make profit on all items that we sell. The only way we know to do that is by strength, and that's by having other distributors to join us. In numbers is where our strength's at.
Mm-hmm. Then you can start getting better profits.
Well, profit is the main thing, but the other thing is dealer support. We cannot support a dealer if we're working on a very low margin of profit, because manufacturers set up all these mail order houses. A mail order house cannot usually support a dealer. They sell by price. In fact, they might not even sell satellite, if you will. It could be a whole other industry. They're selling price. We in turn are regional distributors, and we're staying within this region, and we're selling product, and we're backing product, and we're backing it for the dealers.
This is a question I hadn't planned to ask you. Feel free not to answer it, but what's the biggest pressure you get from people? What don't people understand about you that you wish they'd understand better about distributors?
Well, let me answer this first, Jim, because I'm thinking of it, and I'll forget it if I don't.
Okay.
Dealers seem to think that distributors have all the money in the world, that the manufacturers are giving us these products, and we in turn are selling it to them, and we get to keep all the money. And that's not the case. We work off a very slim margin of profit. And out of that profit, we have to back these distributors and service these products. And they just don't understand that we are the ones in the chain from the manufacturer to the retail customer who make the least amount of money.
Well, you know, we work on more volume, but we're on a smaller percentage rate than the dealer. But me and Sam's both objective is to take care of that dealer. And what we want to happen is to be able, we want to go further with it than regionalization from manufacturers. We want to regionalize our dealers also, so that they don't have to fight the guy down the street that's selling at a lower price. And what we're really here and making this tape about is we're interested in other distributors that have the same philosophy or feel the same way as we do. And we'd like to hear from them. We'd like to know that they want to support us. The more in numbers, the stronger we're going to be.
What kind of response have you gotten from manufacturers at the Las Vegas show?
Believe it or not, it's been excellent. The manufacturers, the ones we've talked to, are behind us 100%. They'd rather have regional distributors, as it already is in the electronic industry. See, satellite growing out of the hobbyist industry sort of have set their own rules. Well, we're to the point now in volume and in business that we have already exceeded the hobbyist ideal, so to speak. And now we are a bona fide business, a growing industry. And we must abide by rules already in existence for the electronic industry. And this includes regionalization, proper distributorships, backup of warranties, etc.
Well, let's make it a little further. The distributors that we've talked to, about 99% in favor of what we're saying. We have a group of around 43 distributors that we had a meeting with last night. Every one of them want to support this idea. We would like that support from other people, that's distributors. We'd like to hear from them.
Yes, I'd like to make one point. Amplica is the main thrust of this. They helped us a great deal. They are trying to get regional distributors to give us territories like it ought to be, so we can produce in these territories, so we can profit, so we can advertise not nationally, but within our own territories to help our existing dealers. And they've been a great support to us, and we have just been overwhelmed at the response we've had at this show from both manufacturers and distributors.
Thank you both. I think that's all, unless you want to add something else.
Well, the only thing I'll say, if they want to contact me, they call Delaney's in Oklahoma City. It's area code 405-528-0511.
And call Sky High Satellite in Charleston, South Carolina at 803-875-7591.
We'll be back right after this.
Want to know more about satellite TV? Then go to the source for product reviews and how-tos. We're on the road and out in space, and sometimes in very cold places, with features and technical reports. It's all in satellite TV. That's only $19.95 for 12 big issues of STV magazine. Call now, 1-800-438-2020, and get this LCD calendar clock free with your subscription. That's 12 big issues of STV magazine and the clock for only $19.95. The number again is 1-800-438-2020. 1-800-438-2020. Call now.
At the Las Vegas show, we were able to talk to a variety of people, from dealer, distributor to manufacturer, all to inform you about the satellite industry. We were able to speak with two heads of manufacturing companies. I'm talking now with Hans Janier, who is president of Luxor North America, and Luxor has become a household word among the satellite industry, But for anybody who may not know what Luxor does, Hans, could you tell what Luxor Corporation does?
We are a consumer electronics company primarily. Been around for 60 years in audio, video, and added on computers, and in recent year also a variety of industrial electronics for automotive industry primarily. That's what we are doing.
Okay. What changes have you seen in the last 6 to 8 months within your company?
In our company here in North America, I think the major change we have seen is that we have brought forward a line of Luxor front ends to go with our receivers. And we are very proud at this show to be able to show for the first time a full line of Luxor products. We're coming closer and closer to the system concept. And that is what this industry is asking for. That's the major change. The other change is that we have geared up our personnel resources up at our headquarters in Washington. And we've done that because we see that this industry is growing very rapidly, and we want to service the industry in a professional way.
Yes, the industry is growing rapidly. And what changes do you foresee within the industry in the near future?
I still believe that the major change this year is in the means of distribution and the way the product is being sold. You will see the established consumer electronics trade starting to sell the products to a higher degree than ever before, and you will see more and more regional distribution coming on. I think that the nationwide mail order houses are, so to say, going away, and you will see regional distribution that can serve their territory with the proper support and training of a net of dealers. I think that's a major change. And at this show, you see more and more system approach, and above all, this show, as I see it, is the first really professional show that we've had in this industry. I'm very pleased, and I'm excited about the attendance, the number of people coming here that are coming here with one purpose: to get a better understanding of what's going on in the industry and to buy product.
I'm talking now with Dave McClaskey, who is chairman of the board of Intersat Corporation. And Dave, could you tell me about your company?
Well, Pat, Intersat is a company that came to be about 5 years ago when the industry first got started. We introduced a lot of new product. We're kind of known as the innovators in satellite technology. We're here at the show, the STTI show and space show. Where are we, in Las Vegas? Yes, we're in Las Vegas this month. We're introducing the new IQ170 to a dealer direct program. We feel we have the most sophisticated high-end receiver in this marketplace. And as you probably well know, there's probably 400 or 500 displays outside at the show and another 600 exhibits inside. And I think that we're the Mercedes of this industry.
Tell me a little bit about what you hope for the future for your company.
Well, we've seen rapid growth and 4- and 5-time growth every year in our sales in the last 5 years, and we don't see that slowing down. Our company is just this industry is just an extension of our company, really. And here, every time we go to a trade show, 3 or 4 months apart, the industry seems to double in size. And that's about the same rate that our company is growing as well.
Okay. Also, what about the future of the industry? Anything in particular that you foresee?
I think scrambling is probably the most poorly thought out subject that one could talk about within the industry. I think HBO and Maycom and others have not considered a lot of things about scrambling. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises in '85 about scrambling. People, contrary to the press reports and the things you read in the Wall Street Journal. I think the FCC is going to take care of the local zoning problem for all of us. And the 5 commissioners, I'm sure, are going to be working hard on that little project. Of course, screen dishes help with that zoning, and we're sure that the zoning issue will be solved quickly.
Now on to a distributor. Harry Warner is president of Intercontinental Products Corporation.
Intercontinental Products is a diversified company. Intercontinental Products is actually a holding company, and one of the divisions that we operate is Intercontinental Satellite Distribution Centers. That is a master distributor for several lines of electronics equipment related to this industry.
And where are your distributorships?
We have a distributorship in Salt Lake City. We have one in Anaheim, California, one in Sacramento, California, one in Portland, Oregon.
What changes have you seen within your company in the last 6 to 8 months?
Well, I saw a tremendous increase in sales, number one. Number two, the other thing that I've seen is the attitude that that our distribution, at least, has taken towards the industry. We think that the industry is growing up. It's been in its infancy and really not been exposed to a lot of professional people in this industry. We think that we're professionals. We think that we know how to operate and manage a business, and we see trends that are changing so far as the manufacturers are concerned, so far as the distributors are concerned. Distributors are becoming conscious of the fact, that they're in it, they're an important segment of the whole industry, and they have to maintain integrity, they have to maintain training programs, they have to support the dealer organization and build a rapport with the dealers that I don't think has been existent up to this time.
Besides the growth, with the more people being involved in the satellite industry and the more professional people being involved with the satellite industry, what other things do you see in the future?
Oh, I think that the industry as a whole, with the new technology that's coming on, with various avenues that are being investigated and research being done on, I think that the TVRO end of the business is very, very small. Matter of fact, we're looking at other areas of it now, since IPC is a telecommunications company. We're looking at other segments of the industry which we think will only complement and enhance it.
What are some of those areas?
Well, one of them is KU band VSATs, which we're very, very definitely interested in. We're interested in land mobile communications. There's several areas that we're investigating very, very carefully and which we want to become a part of.
Joe Kelch found a dealer who says he's really glad he got into the business.
Hi, this is Joe Kelch talking now to Warren Solomon of Walnut Creek, California. I just met Warren very recently, and he's a gentleman who is just going into the dealership for the satellite business. He's got an interesting background and some interesting insights into what a dealer should research before he gets into it. Basically, your background is, well, there's two backgrounds really, isn't it? Telephone and hardware.
Yes, there is, Joe. And I've been involved with retail hardware for approximately 15 years. Prior to that, I'd had quite a few years with the Mountain States and Pacific telephone companies. And retailing is changing. Industry seems to change. And in my experience in retailing, I found that in the area in which I was not really doing that well. So we made a decision approximately 2 years ago to go into the satellite industry. At that time, my wife and I made a decision about researching it, and I started doing some contact work with distributors and came to the CES show of 1984, which was really the one that opened my eyes to what was available. And there's been some major changes in this industry even since that time.
Oh yes, great deal. What is the importance, for instance, on the key things of financing, being adequately financed, and location of the shop? Do you have any insight into what you did?
Well, we, having run 3 hardware stores, as we closed those out, we recovered our capital from those and are using that as our base. I think it'd probably be best to be talking to bankers in that area to find out what your debt ratio should be as it relates to your actual capital investment on it. Site locations, There are people who say location, location, location is very important. And we've been researching a site and have finally signed on a lease for our installation and service site and sales site just this past week. So.
How about signing up with a distributor? What do you look for in a distributor?
Well, in the past 2 years, backgrounding in association in the hardware industry, I have feel that a distributor should have a broad line of product. He should be well versed in the use of that product. I feel a little let down in the past that one of the major distributors in which I was contacting, they have not really, I wouldn't want to say solicited me, but have not, I felt that they could do a better job contacting me and filling my needs on that area.
Okay, anything to add on that? I didn't want to.
Well, not really.
Okay, I wanted to get into the field of, you had mentioned that you thought membership in space was a very important item.
Yes, I feel that it very much is. I think that the space organization is the forefront. They're the people who are really bringing the industry together. They're the one from around which they can become the nucleus around which all the distributors, the manufacturers, the dealers can all contribute and add to. And I think that I feel very comfortable with them. Having been in the hardware industry, I'd supported those associations for 15 years, and they did a very fine job for me in that industry. So I feel space is going to do a good one for this industry.
You've done a good job of research, and I think a year from now, I hope to see you, or maybe at other shows, and see how you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that, Joe.
Yeah. Thanks. A lot of luck to Warren.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Warren.
Still to come on Satellite Showtime, a rare kind of gathering for some industry leaders. Another segment of our panel discussion, Satellite Preview 85.
For a limited time only, you can receive Channel Guide for a special reduced rate. For just $9, you will receive 8 weeks of Channel Guide, a month of Galaxy One magazine, and the all-new 1985 Whole Earth Station catalog. That's a $20 value for just $9. Then close check and address, and you'll start receiving the original grid format for satellite TV. Due to this low price, no phone orders may be taken. Write today. Channel Guide, Department 808A, P.O. Box 1633, Englewood, Colorado, 80150. Do it today.
We now continue with another segment of our special panel discussion, Satellite Preview 85.
Okay, we're back. Gary, we seem to be building up to a consensus here. Nobody seems to be real hot on small antennas on this panel. While we were taking a break there, Glenn Messerschmidt from Houston Tracker said that perhaps it was not as gloomy for small dishes as the other people think. You say you really don't have a market for one satellite or small dishes. Glenn thinks he does.
I'll be interested to hear what he has to say. I hope he's right.
Well, no, I'm not in the business of selling small dishes at all. Don't get me wrong. However, I do think the market for the 6-foot dishes, 6- and 7-footers, is going to be very strong this year. My only concern is that the people who are purchasing them are aware of their capabilities. Now, the areas where I feel they're going to be extremely strong is in the suburban areas of cities, for example. Many people live in high-density types of housing developments where they really can't put a big dish. And I think something that is in the neighborhood of 6 feet is going to fit, into the space limitations that may be imposed upon them. You've got zoning restrictions on, for example, an antenna not exceeding the roof line of the house, et cetera, et cetera. Once you get into your 10-foot dish, you may be in violation of a zoning restriction and in a subdivision. I think the market in 6-foot dishes are going to be in your townhomes, your patio type of homes, vacation resort areas, and hopefully the people are going to be aware that they're only going to be able to pick up programming from 2 or 3 satellites with the 6-foot dish. I don't necessarily, I kind of agree with John. The cost of going from a 6-foot mesh to an 8-foot mesh is not substantial at all. I think it's more or less a space limitation that is going to drive the 6-foot dishes.
Okay. I think we should use the rest of this segment to discuss what the consumer should know is fact and fiction, what they can look forward to in '85, how they go about buying a system. We have manufacturers sitting here, we have dealer sitting here. A lot of the calls and letters I get are basically, they're confused. They don't know what to buy, they don't know quite what to believe. The industry has come a long way, the product really is much better, the whole industry is more organized. But they still have to be a little bit careful. There's a tremendous amount of choice out there. However, there's a tremendous choice nationally, but they usually depend upon the dealer. You're handling Luxor, Houston Tracker, call antennas. How much choice do they have in your area? How many other dealers carrying different products can they go to in your area?
Well, there are many other dealers like any area. There's a lot of competition, but I think it's evolved to the point where you have to be in it 100% with both feet. You just can't, to do much of a job in the satellite industry, it's very difficult to work out of your house and out of your basement. We started that way. There weren't very many systems being sold when we started, and that was the only way we could do it. And so in our area, being one of the first ones and selling a lot of systems, it still boils down to service. You still have to take care of them. And so they still, I feel, buy from a dealer and a salesperson that they feel comfortable with. And they'll buy, people will pretty much buy what we recommend. We'll show in our showroom 3 or 4 systems, maybe different price ranges, but we tell them that each one of these we feel confident that they would be satisfied with them. It's basically a difference of features. And we can pretty well tell after we talk to them a little bit if they want the highest price, the best with the most features, or the other way. But they're still, I think, buying from Century Satellite or from me as a salesperson if I'm the person that's talking to them.
Do we sell performance first and then features? Because performance still is key. We've talked about 6-foot antennas, 8-foot antennas, 10-foot antennas. The fact is, the larger the antenna, the more channels you get clearly. Is that not right?
That's correct, although when they come in to see us, we just tell them they're going to get all of the channels very clearly. They may have a few sparkles on the weakest transponder, and we'll tell them that too. And 9 out of 10 people would not even see those sparkles in there. But so it's kind of, I think, a given fact when they walk in. They expect that it's going to work and that they would be satisfied with the picture. We don't get many questions about picture quality anymore. I think we did more earlier, but there's enough people that have them that are satisfied, or that love them actually. I don't think that's so much of a question.
So then we go to features, right?
Then we go to features. And they'll ask about one antenna versus another, a mesh versus solid, those types of things. But I think it's really highly feature-oriented.
Are they interested in gain and side load performance and all this kind of stuff?
Not at all, and we don't talk that to them unless they ask a question. And they may know more than we know about it if they've really studied it.
So you are selling programming and user-friendliness of the system.
That's what they want, is the program.
You're not selling microwave technology at all.
No.
You're selling the ability to receive programming.
We'll talk over their head if we do.
Okay. John, this is the beginning of the selling season for '85, although January and February have been unusually strong months. This is normally a slump time, but many of the manufacturers and distributors I've talked to indicate that it really hasn't fallen off as much as is normal for this time of year. What are we looking for in '85? What are you looking for? Where is this industry going in '85?
Well, we're very optimistic. We have got a feel for the key distributors that we're working with, and the feedback that we get from them, trying to get like a 90-day projection from these folks so we can gear our manufacturing to it. And the indication from all the distributors we have is a good, steady growth. The same time frame last year, we're way ahead of what that is, but there is a seasonal slump that everybody goes through, especially probably up here more so.
Gary's probably one of the key dealers that didn't seem to go through it nearly as bad as some of the others, but it's got to be a willingness to want to go out and perform and do things in the wintertime. But I look for this next year to be a steady growth, at least in our end, and I think across the board, the realization that that it is here, that it's totally legalized. We're not through that problem anymore. That's one of the questions that used to get a lot. That doesn't even come up any longer. And with the realization that now that there's advertisement for the end user, recognition of different products and things like that, I think you're going to see a lot more advertising to these folks directly instead of the advertising to the dealers like it has been in the past. I think that's really going to dramatically increase sales this year.
You're looking for brand recognition, so,
brand recognition.
So they go in and ask for a particular product.
And advertisement right directly to the consumer, which hasn't happened from the manufacturers in the past, and this year it's going to.
We've seen a little bit of it by some of the majors who can afford the big expensive spreads.
We're looking to try to do that too, you bet.
Hans, you're in the unique position of being one of the top 4 receiver manufacturers in the country. 3 of the 4 receivers in the top are not manufactured in this country. You're the only one that's manufactured on a different continent. Luxors are manufactured in Sweden. The other 2 I'm referring to are both offshore, oriental. What is Sweden, manufacturer of Volvos and jet airplanes, doing in the satellite receiver business? And does it bother you that here you are in North America and you're a Swedish company who's really knocked a lot of American companies out of the receiver business?
No, not really. This has happened, unfortunately, in the TV industry. It's happened in the audio industry. And we are taken by surprise that the American industry has allowed this to happen. I think that when we look offshore and we look at what we have done in terms of automation, product technology, etc., we are very, very competitive with the offshore industry. But we see with some sadness that the American enterprise is not that hot, or has not been that hot on working as we have had to do to compete with the offshore industry. I remember some time ago some guy said that we will see a time where the last American manufacturer has to take down the flag. And I think that's a sad remark, because it's not got to be that way. And of course we have our products manufactured primarily in Sweden, but we have also had subcontractors out here, so it is a joint venture between Swedish and American enterprise.
We don't normally associate Sweden with electronics in this country. I mean, I'm sure that most of the people out there, if they said, you know, this is a Swedish receiver, then,
well, I think that's just part, perhaps, of some unawareness that Sweden is a very highly developed country, high-tech country, that has had big successes in a variety of areas that in electronics. We have a big telephone company, Ericsson, who is worldwide in electronics. Our parent company, Nokia, is all over the world with electronics. And we are here with a variety of electronics products in the US. I think that people within the electronics industry, both the consumer electronics industry and the more professional electronics industry, do recognize that Sweden is at the forefront of technical development in electronics.
Glenn, Houston Tracker and many of the other companies that just build motor drives are in a rather unusual position. I mean, we've had Gary here say that that's the component they have the most problems with. I foresee another problem. Actually, I foresee 2 other problems. First of all, there's a tendency to build the controls for the tracker right into the receiver. Several major manufacturers have done that now. They're integrating it all into one piece. You are basically a retrofit or an add-on company. The second thing I see is that the foreign manufacturers, it seems to me that the next market they would probably go after is your market, is motor drives. How are you going to react to that?
Well, they're already doing it. Unfortunately, you know, when the industry, the technologies involved in between motor drives and receivers are substantially different. We are, I believe, the oldest manufacturer of motor drives, and Hans, I'm sure, can verify that. The two technologies are different. We really had no great desire to build a complete system or to get into the receiver business. We have been happy moving along, building positioners and interfacing with everybody else's receivers. However, there is a move for complete systems, so to speak, receiver actuator combinations, not necessarily in the same box, but something that's matching, so to speak. That is going to be a big factor this year. I think people are going to want to buy a matching receiver and positioner. You also, from a lot of the press releases and so forth, you know, a lot of receiver manufacturers are now announcing or currently beginning to build positioners. Unfortunately, that has put us in a position where we're strongly looking at a complete system right now. Over the past year or so, we've approached numerous receiver manufacturers attempting to get them, for example, to put a jack on the back so we could have a direct pluggable interface with our system. In fact, I've gone as far as to offer free advertising for anybody who did. Unfortunately, none of them have taken me up on it. And I've approached probably about 4 receiver manufacturers in the last 4 or 5 months. I believe the reason that they haven't is that they plan on manufacturing their own positioner at some point in another, or having somebody private label it for them, or whatever.
So this is going to be a battle of systems. All the manufacturers are going to complete systems.
Definitely.
Right?
I think it's going to be a battle of systems now.
Coming up next, the Calltronics video newsletter.
Welcome to the world of satellite TV opportunities, the marketing techniques magazine for satellite television that reviews the latest technology and introduces you to people you should know.
Satellite TV Opportunities is the marketing techniques magazine for satellite TV dealers. Our single purpose is to help dealers increase their sales and their profits through improved marketing techniques.
Call today for your subscription to success, 1-800-922-2812, Satellite TV Opportunities magazine.
Hello, I'm Joe Kelch for Calltronics and the video newsletter. Well, I'm sure all of you are back getting situated again after the big Las Vegas show. Calltronics was there, as were some 600 other exhibitors, and 14,000 people in the building, outside on the grounds at the antenna farm, the outside tent. It was packed. And we all enjoyed it, but we didn't see all the people we wanted to see, and we're sorry for that. While the crowds were there, there was another crowd up in a meeting room in Tracy Tower at the MGM Grand. That's where Calltronics had their distributor meeting. Distributors learned a lot, and we learned a lot. Now, on with our show.
Quality, performance, and strength, and all at a highly competitive price. That's the all-new Trans 10 Mesh by Calltronics. Engineered for maximum durability and reflective surface, the Trans 10 is also extremely easy to look at. It has a baked acrylic, thermal-set black finish that gives it that low luster appeal. Aesthetically speaking, the Trans 10 is not just another beautiful dish. It's got plenty of other qualities to back it up. The extra strength hub is parabolically formed to maximize signal strength. Like the keystone of a great building, the hub is engineered of 3/16" prime steel and measures a solid 14.5 inches in diameter. The ribs are made of superior strength tubular 16-gauge steel encased in polytrans vinyl, especially formulated for the satellite industry. The end result, solid strength. at the same time minimizing the size of the ribbing. This avoids the bulky appearance of so many mesh antennas. The poly-trans vinyl ribs of the Trans 10, in another innovative feature, have full half-inch unobstructed mesh retaining channels. The mesh panels slide smoothly into place, simply and surely, making for fast assembly time and snug positioning. Another bonus is better retention of panels in high wind areas and maximum reflector signal with no gaps in that reflective area. It's a distinct advantage over other mesh designs. High gain means better performance. The Trans 10 has an outer rim of rigid extruded aluminum anchored securely to the ribs and center hub to form a solid framework for the panels. The mesh panels are of expanded flattened aluminum with a 1.040 thickness and 0.045 strand width. The mesh and all exposed frame parts have a baked acrylic thermoset finish. All antenna hardware is plated for weather protection. The Trans 10, with its 10-foot diameter, is designed for maximum gain, a focal length of 44 1/4 inches, and an FD ratio of 0.375. The Trans 10 is UPS shippable anywhere in the United States with a weight of 145 pounds without mount. It means easy handling. Without a doubt, the Trans 10 by Qualtronics is the front runner in the industry, the ultimate mesh antenna design because of quality, performance, and eye appeal.
You know, it's really easy to assemble our Trans 10 by Qualtronics. To find out really how easy, watch this.
Break my
Calltronics is happy to be an authorized distributor and service center for the innovative satellite home electronics equipment from Luxor, a name synonymous with high technology. We would like to take a moment to give you a closer look at some of these innovative electronics from Luxor. The Luxor 9550 remote-controlled satellite receiver. The Luxor 9550 gives you total control over the satellite spectrum. 24 channels can be selected, fine-tuned, and then programmed for automatic recall. 4 different audio systems, mono or stereo, can be selected in either wide or narrow bandwidth for programming with any channel. A built-in stereo processor for both TV audio or stereo sound only eliminates the necessity for an add-on external stereo processor. An RF modulator in the receiver provides easy connection to any TV set. The 9550 is not only a satellite television receiver, it will feed a hi-fi stereo system with quality audio-only signals. You can also make professional quality VCR recordings via the audio-video baseband outputs. Compare these features with systems costing much more. You'll see the extra value in investing in a Luxor. The Luxor 9534 antenna actuator. Now you can have fully automatic satellite selection at your command by remote control. The location of 30 different satellites can be precisely defined and programmed for automatic recall at the touch of a button. The unit is designed coordinated to interface with a Luxor 9550 satellite receiver. Introducing a new generation of electronic excellence. Now, several television sets throughout your home can have independent channel selection at the same time from a single antenna. Advanced block conversion and high-performance technology bring you quality picture stability. Temperature-sensitive components are in the receiver inside the house. A built-in stereo processor for both TV audio and stereo sound only eliminates the necessity for an external add-on stereo processor. The entire system is easy to install. It's great. Simultaneous multi-channel TV viewing is here. The art and science of electronics put a whole new world of television right at your fingertips. The Scantic is packed with the state-of-the-art features designed and built to the most exacting European standards. Created to expand your video and audio universe into crystal clear reception and virtually unlimited viewing selection. Touch your way to a wonderful new experience in sight and sound. Easy channel selection, 24 programmable channels. Pick up all 24 transponder channels on each satellite with simple digital push-button control. Choose even or odd channels, step up or down at the touch of a button. Bright LED display can be seen from across the room. Precise fine-tuning for each of 24 channels is automatic and programmable. You can also make your own fine-tuning adjustments with a fingertip touch with the AFC off. Feature for feature, Scantic delivers more versatility and higher quality performance automatically for less. The Nova MSR 440 receiver is a low-cost, high-clarity receiver designed to operate efficiently with smaller aperture antennas. The receiver employs an exceptional AFC circuit to lock in satellite channels. The variable tune channel select control allows additional fine-tuning. Built-in polarization controls are provided to operate the optional Polarator 1 and also includes built-in modulator tunable channels 4 to 6. Call now for the best buy in the satellite market today.
We've got some great posters coming out now, and we want to tell you they're in beautiful color, they're attractive, they're attention-getting, and they're for you dealers and distributors out there. Consumers too, if you'd like. Just give us a call to find out more about it at 800-826-5285. We'll be glad to send them to you. That's it for our edition tonight of Video Newsletter.
That's all for this evening's Satellite Showtime. If you would like a VHS or beta copy of Satellite Showtime, please write to us at Nova Video Productions, Box 637, Highway 14 East, Richland Center, Wisconsin, 53581. The price, $19.95. We'll accept check or money order, no credit card or CODs, and the postage is included in that price. Coming up next week on Satellite Showtime, you've probably heard of E.T., but what about T.I.? If you haven't heard of it, be sure to catch the show. Also, the editor of a major satellite digest tells what he thinks the biggest problem in the industry is. And you'll catch part 4 of Satellite Preview 85. Until then, good night.